Hello and welcome to episode 3 of What's Good with Kinte, and we're joined by Alex of GetVokl. I've had the pleasure of chatting with him before, and I thought this was a good time to chop it up with him again. So I'm going to take the opportunity I'm going to try to say his last name properly. It's Riesenkampff.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay, cool. I feel good. All right, but we're gonna just say Alex though. So, but hey, I'm used to people saying my name wrong. Believe it or not, people have a hard time saying Kinte sometimes. So you would think that wouldn't be an issue, but unfortunately, at times it is. But it is what it is.
What's the worst someone did with that name?
They've called me Knight. They've called me Kinte. They've called me all kind of. It's like, how do you mess that up? I think my name is easy to say, Kinte, but people get it wrong. I don't know what that is. So, all right. So, one thing that I love to do is we are constantly getting new listeners and people who are new to the platforms that we use. So. Now in our chat room, we have people who are already, what's up, Knight, who are very aware of what you do and who you are. But for those who are listening, maybe on downloads and stuff, say who you are and about this platform.
So I'm Alex, and I'm part of the GetVokl team, one of the founders. And GetVokl is a platform for interactive podcasting. So podcasting so far has always been a passive experience where podcasters create episodes, upload them to some kind of podcasting hosting platform, and then listeners will on demand listen to them. And this is obviously, as everyone knows, a hugely growing thing, podcasting, both in terms of the amount of creators that are doing it, but also obviously the listeners. And GetVokl, we think, is the next step of podcasting, where podcasters can really connect with their audience and also create community amongst the audience.
One of the big words that I think is underestimated is communities. I think the people that can create a community around their content has the best opportunity of having staying power. And you see that with even television shows, right? Really popular TV shows have really good communities that form around it. I think that the podcasters that are the most successful are the ones that have a community. They have something to fall onto. So when you talk about creating communities, how much of that is part of the mantra of GetVokl?
So I think the interactive part is that has to come first, right? So today, let's just say we have a podcast X and everyone loves that podcast. Or let's say the two of us love that podcast. We might not even know about each other. We might not know, we might be neighbors even, right? But we don't know that we both love this podcast. We're diehard fans. We'd go buy tickets for a live show if they did one in our city, right? So making the experience between the podcaster and their fans more interactive opens up the ability to create community around that. Because let's say, you have a podcast, and you do, right? You invite your community into a format like this one, say me, and maybe open up the seats for other folks, or you see them in the chat room. This way I get to see who else is a fan and connect with them and build community that way. And so that's what GetVokl is about, right? So to sort of make that connection between the podcaster and their fans more interactive, and then on the second step, create community amongst the listeners of podcasters. And as you said, right, TV shows and podcasts and other successful creators have fans that absolutely love the creator and the content, and they relate to the creators and the content on an emotional level. And we think that GetVokl allows to leverage that.
You know, one thing as a podcaster, and I've been doing this for a long time, is one thing I've realized is I want my audience to take ownership into the content. And so what happens is they feel like it's theirs as well, right? Which it is too. And one thing I noticed about the GetVokl community is everybody feels like they have ownership in GetVokl and they have a vested interest in its success. And I think which is really awesome. And you guys do a great job of fostering that, making people feel like they do have ownership within the platform. So one thing that I've noticed in the last several months, really since the beginning of the year, is that the platform is growing. And I see more content coming on, and I see a lot of it too is a deliberate attempt to add more content, especially on the Wednesday night platform. Now, some of our diehards are not as aware of about the Wednesday night platform. Can you tell us about the Wednesday night platform and some of the things that go on there?
Absolutely, would love to. Let me take a step back. So we've been testing GetVokl and been building it bit by bit for a little while now, and we asked ourselves, how can we foster community? How can we boost community? And one thing that we noticed is that community is strongest when it congregates around content, right? So yes, you might have existing communities of people that know each other and they are already a community, and then GetVokl might be a place for them to, live out that community, interact and whatnot. But if you want to create community amongst people that do not know each other yet, then a strong affinity in terms of mutual love for content and the creator of that content is what works best. And so we tested out working with a certain host to create, our own shows and all of that, and that didn't really go that well. And then in January, we launched the Connection Zone, which is this Wednesday night programming where we sort of partnered up with a certain podcasters to come onto the platform on Wednesday nights and do their content. And the Connection Zone is love, dating, relationships, sexuality focused podcasters. And it's kind of like TV programming or radio programming where within a certain period of time, you'll have a bunch of creators come on board. And so their audience will come on to GetVokl, and then some of them, and we already see that, will stay on for the next show, right? And so that's where then cross promotion and these things happen. And so that's what we're trying to do, because before that, you would have shows happening, but then there's nothing happening afterwards or before, and then you sort of have a little bit of that void where folks wonder, why am I going to stay here, right? What's next? And so that's what we've been able to prove with the Connection Zone. And I mean, of course, then the topics of Connection Zone aren't interesting for everyone. Some folks are just not interested in those podcasters. So as a next step, we're going to be adding a True Crime Thursday, and we're currently recruiting creators to launch that. Don't know exactly when, but as soon as possible. And then bit by bit, we're planning on bringing sort of a programming block to every evening of the week, so that there's always something going on. And when a user comes onto the platform, they don't feel like it's that empty, right? Because that's sort of been the problem, where you have like that chicken and an egg problem, where creators come to the platform, feel there's nothing going on, and they wonder whether it's worthwhile to do something. And on the other hand, where you have, audience users, regular users that are looking for things to do and feel like there's nothing going on, right? So that's a strategy that seems to be working and that we're doubling down on right now.
I love it too, and I've checked out most of those shows, and I've had a chance to talk with a lot of those creators as well, and they're doing really good work, and I'm very happy that to see that, because we all love this platform and we want to see it grow and whatnot. And so we actually, me and Dr. Vibe, and I don't know if you know Jada Lopez, we did something like that. I think it was on a Wednesday night last year. We called it Triple Black, where we had our shows dovetail into each other, and we tried that thing, and it worked very well. But it's something that you got to maintain and keep going. So we like the fact that you guys are doing that.
It makes a huge difference, Kinte. You wouldn't believe. I mean, it really, and pretty much everyone in this room knows that we've been trying a bunch of different things. This actually works. And so now we're going to expand the model of what works to other evenings with other content that might be more interesting to users like Badges than what we have on Wednesday nights.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I feel like the content that is on Wednesdays, yes, some of it's for more of an adult audience, but I think for the most part, they have very intelligent conversations about sex. And I think that, that is a part of podcasting, is to have these kind of conversations. So I think it's great. And we're talking about a Wednesday night, it's not every night, all night, so.
I mean, so I fully agree with you. It's mostly, I think, intelligent conversations about sex. Obviously, we've cycled through a couple of creators. Not everyone's great. And for some folks, the content is too edgy. So I understand if people come to the platform and feel like, ooh, it looks like GetVokl is all about sex talk. Now the reason why folks feel that way is because we have creators such as yourself, Kinte, and Dr. Vibe, and some others creating content regularly, but it's not part of a content block, right? So it's sort of still few and far between if you look at the whole platform and 24 hours of each day, right? So right now I've come to the platform. Yes, it seems like relationships, dating, and sex talk also is dominant on the platform. That's just because it's the first programming block that we have sort of launched, but there will be more programming blocks that we will be launching, and then it will seem less like, sex talk is dominating the platform. That's something that we've heard from a couple of sides, and it just happened to be a topic universe that lends itself phenomenally for this kind of interactive format. We have more creators coming on board. So for example, tonight we have 2 new creators. One is called My Ugly Truth Podcast, and the other one is called Not Your Worst Marriage. And so the whole goal is to have a wide array of different voices covering relationships and sexuality and love and everything that has to do with that. So it's very much developing, and anyone who would ask, is GetVokl going to be a destination for sex talk? I would say absolutely not. It's a destination for interactive podcasting, and sex talk is one of the topics that will be on GetVokl.
Right, and you talk to any artist, the first thing they ever drew was a penis or a set of titties. So so it's all good. I don't think that's that's the main reason why we decided not to have podcasts here anymore. We are family show in a sea of adult. That's unfortunate, Badges.
I would say it's currently not a sea of adult content. It's maybe a puddle of adult content, and so we're going to be adding a couple of more puddles that are not that. One of the shows that we planned, or the content blocks that we're planning to do, not immediately next, but let's say the 3rd or the 4th content block, is a Monday middays for family and parenting related content, and So again, if it seems like GetVokl is all about sex talk, that's just because the one programming block that we've launched so far covers that, but it will be joined by other programming blocks pretty soon.
Now, I heard a rumor, and is this true, that you guys added the co-host feature?
Yeah, it's true. We sent out an email about that. So the co-host feature, the way that it works is that you have that you're able to assign co-admins for your channels.
Nice.
And then co-admins automatically become co-hosts. So we do not have a per show co-host feature. We have a channel co-admin feature that makes every channel co-admin co-host of any event that's happening within that channel.
Oh, okay. And you just go to your channel, and it's pretty much
You go to your channel and then you click on the subscriber list, and then there are 3 little dots next to the name of the subscriber, and then you can make folks co-admins there. Channel
I like it. That's one of our things. There was a question that Anthony had about the IP address. Do you remember what it was? I'm so sorry. I should have wrote it down. Put it in the chat room, Anthony, and I'll relay the question to you. Yeah, I will just when he puts it in there. Now you are based out of Denver, right?
Colorado.
Boulder, Colorado, but you're not there now.
I am not there now. No, I am in Europe. I'm kind of stuck in Europe right now with all the craziness that's going on.
Mm-hmm. Now, are you're safe, your family and all that?
Yeah, everyone's safe. I think everyone's sort of mind boggled by what's going on right now. But yeah, I think, folks here are taking this pretty seriously. I feel folks in the US are taking it pretty seriously, and I feel everyone should take it seriously.
Very seriously, right. So, do you see any do you have an idea when you'll be able to go back to the States?
When flights resume.
Oh, okay.
So right now I'm kind of stuck. Yeah. So when things go, I would say the immediate lockdown is over, I'll be able to get back. In the meanwhile, we're working remotely anyway, so I feel like everyone's getting used to that being a reality, and yeah, so that's what we're doing.
So the Vokl offices in Boulder is basically not nobody's in there anyway.
Oh, it's shut down. Yeah, it's shut down in 2 weeks.
Oh, okay, so that's cool though. But everybody, all part of the team is good as far as you know.
Is good. We feel a little lonely, and we miss being in the physical space together. So what we've started doing is that we use one of our private rooms to just sort of like hang out with each other on GetVokl, and to sort of replicate that physical space.
That's cool though. Now, so you guys are able to make the changes that you need to necessarily, to keep up with the, you can do all that stuff remotely, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, our main developer, Lokesh, has been working remotely from the very beginning. So we're pretty used to working remotely with parts of the team. Of course, it's nicer to be in the same physical location, but we know how to do it, and now we're forced to do it, right?
Right. That's cool. So let's talk about, I just wanted to get that out there, if anybody wondered, make sure that you were good as far as your health and wellness, and everybody on the team. Let's talk about growth. Last year, we had, we did talk about the things that we needed to see for this platform to grow and whatnot. How do you feel about the way that the site is trending?
So most of the folks in here know that it took us quite a while to figure things out, right? Mm-hmm. And we feel like we finally started figuring things out when we launched the Connection Zone, right? Mm-hmm. So the Connection Zone is a model for growth. All of the other things that we've tried in the past were not models for growth. And either because, we didn't have the resources to hit certain strategies hard enough, or we didn't have the bandwidth in terms of time, we tried many things and nothing really worked. The model of having a concentrated block of content, that actually works, right? Now we're and we're seeing creators reach out to us and say, hey, can we be part of the connection zone that just happened for the first time last week?
Nice.
So this is something where we were like, okay, it's another experiment, one of many that we have created, and this actually works now. So we're going to double down on it, hit it hard. As I mentioned earlier, the next thing that we're going to launch, it will be True Crime Thursdays. Then we're thinking about launching something that we call Reality TV Tuesdays. I mentioned the family and parenting content block for middays on Monday. We're looking to launch a food and health and lifestyle content block on Sunday nights, and then sort of take it from there. Sports, maybe at some point. Right now, I guess sports doesn't make too much sense because no one's playing sports.
Right.
And there's a bunch of other things that we could do. What we just want to. One of the problems really has been that, as I mentioned earlier, people will come to GetVokl and there's just nothing going on, right? And so then they don't come back. People have super short attention spans, and they don't experience why GetVokl makes sense. What we do here, the audience that the podcasters bring over that experience it for the first time, they're like, oh, it's so cool to see you. Oh, it's so cool to see some of the other folks that are fans of this podcast. And so that works. And that's what we're going to double down on. And we're going to be launching new content blocks more frequently now that we've sort of learned how to do it, if that makes any sense.
No, yeah, it makes perfect sense. People just want to see it before they invest in it, so and it is kind of hard to as someone like me, myself, Dr. Vibe, we're constantly doing content, and it is hard to constantly shell out the content, right? Because it takes a lot of work. But what I try to do is I try to bring people over myself in there, and a lot of times what they want to see is that there's a viable audience that it will add to what they already have. So it's an uphill battle, but
you're absolutely right. Right, creators want to see a viable audience, and so some creators like you have a core community, or Dr. Vibe as well. If I sort of look at who's in this room, have a committed audience of folks that that you sort of collaborate with, and that come to the platform. Right, so that's, I would say, a nucleus that feels there's enough value in attending your shows, Kinte, that you do, or the shows that Dr. Vibe does, and they will come to the platform and engage with you, even if there's not a lot of other stuff going on the platform. But those are, that's special because you have such a tight bond with the folks that you collaborate with and with your audience. Most creators aren't that committed to GetVokl, right? They're like, well, why the hell should I do this? What's in it for me? And then they feel like there's no audience, and then they're out, right? And so that's just something that we've been struggling with. And again, these content blocks, sort of programming, that is one strategy that seems to be working. And then the same for the audience, right? We've had a lot of users complain and say, hey, when are you finally going to grow? When's all the great content going to be coming up onto the platform, and all of that? And I understand those questions, but it's been a chicken and an egg problem. And we feel like we've just started, or we finally have a sort of strategy that works, and the data supports that as well, right? So for example, we see that someone will come for show X and then stay for show Y, which is super important. We will see that someone comes for show X and they will return the next week for show X for the same creator. So it's all about creating what I call that relevance, in terms of there's always something going on, so that people have the feeling, hey, there's a buzz, right? This makes sense. Things are happening. And I see Bobby saying it's a matter of shows going viral. Yes, everyone always wants that things go viral, but at the same time, it's hard to plan for things to go viral. So it's more a question of building a core of content and audience that is a foundation for more creators to feel like, this makes sense, and more audience to feel like, this makes sense. There's actually something going on.
Right. And also, it's great if the audience shares too. There's a share button at the top of the screen. For some reason, though, when there's an update, uh, on Chrome, it doesn't always come in right away, and seems like it takes a while. I don't know what that is like, but on Firefox it does. So I don't know if maybe it's my cleaning my cache or whatever. But in Firefox the buttons are there, right? And I think most people have access to it. So that might be just a me problem. I don't know. But you know, when you are in a show that you like, share it to your social media, your Facebook, your I'm not Instagram because you don't have that one, but to Twitter, and that really does help a lot. It helps the content creator.
It really does. And I mean, Kinte, that part of the community have been frustrated, like the initial community that adopted GetVokl came on, that referred to themselves as blabbers, were frustrated with the slow uptake of GetVokl. And we can just say, we're not quitters. We've stuck with it. It's not been easy by any means. We're not funded as some other Silicon Valley startups are. It's essentially we're bootstrapping this. We're investing our own money into keeping GetVokl alive and making it happen. And we're doing it because we believe that it's possible, and that this can actually work and happen. And so I'm super grateful for creators like yourself, Kinte, who have stuck with it, who have gone through all of also the technical instabilities that the platform has had, and there's been many, right? By no means has this been a perfect experience.
Right.
And I feel like everyone in this room can probably relate. But some things just take a while, and we're persistent. We've done, Gisela and I have done startups before. We know that it just, you got to keep hammering it, and you got to keep believing when no one else believes, and you got to keep, you got to have your core group of folks, such as Bobby here, who says he has full faith in GetVokl, and who's sort of been a part of it from the very beginning, and pretty much everyone else in this room as well. That's important, right? And so we're grateful for that, and we just have tried a lot of things, and we have, I think, the patience that it needs. And already in January, the strategy started working. Now, with everyone stuck at home, it's crazy. It's craziness, right? We see people left, right, and center trying to do whatever they do in a virtual space, including GetVokl. And so, this is our opportunity to actually deliver something of value when people need it. And so yeah. And what, maybe one more comment on that, because I mentioned technical instabilities. We've decided that we're going to slow down the new features, because we were building features too quickly to build them in a stable form. So one of the features, which is screen sharing, and Dr. Vibe mentioned this in our last town hall, never really properly worked. And so what we're doing right now is we're just doubling down on making the platform more stable, more reliable, fixing some of the features, fixing some of the confusions, just overall increasing the intuitiveness of the platform, so that the creators that don't have technical skills like you do, Kinte, can be up and running immediately on the platform. And most podcasters, we found, just aren't very tech savvy, right? So rather have a couple less features and just make it as easy as possible. That's sort of what we're going for.
All right. Now, I opened up the bottom seats, so if anybody wants to come in and ask a question, feel free. So let me scroll up. I wanted to get Anthony's question in. How does GetVokl keep up with and track IP addresses?
we have cookie. We use cookies in the same way that other platforms use cookies as well, and then we have some logic in place that helps us keep bad actors off the platform, and that's sort of as much as I want to say with regard to this question. Then I see that Badge's comment out of the broadcaster's Facebook group isn't really showing encouragement to stay. So apologize, that by no means was intended as a kick in the face. What we've just done is that we just have one Facebook group. Again, we have super limited resources to manage stuff, and we want that Facebook group to really be the Facebook group for folks that are active broadcasters on the platform, and less of this is the community of users on GetVokl. And that's just because it's difficult to what we would talk about in a group for just the community of GetVokl would be different than what's being talked about if it's only the creators. So everyone who's actively creating on GetVokl can be a part of that Facebook group, and we're just too small of a team to sort of moderate and have multiple Facebook groups. So that sort of was where that came from, and again, that was by no means intended to spite anyone.
And welcome Nazim too. He's in the chat all the way from Italy. Hopefully you're staying safe. Let me get a moment to let's do a chat room shout out. I see D. She's watching us from Facebook, as well as Mafuni, Akira. Nazim is here. We have Dre, Anthony Davis. I see Frazier. I haven't seen Frazier in a while. How you doing, Frazier? Gisela as well. How you doing, Gisela? Melvin, who I'm going to mention him in a second. I'm going to go back to Melvin. Steven, Bobby, Badges. It's been a while since I've talked to Badges. How you doing, Badges? Olaf, Danny, as well as the great Dr. Vibe and Rich Roberts, who just came into the room as well. So that's thank you, everybody. I don't know if you ever had a chance to talk to Melvin Lars?
To Melvin Lars, yes.
Yeah, you would swear that I'm his publicist. This man does wonderful programs. He does them on Fridays, so sometimes well, now he's starting to do them virtually every day now. But his programs are amazing. If you haven't checked him out, make sure you check this brother out. He does really good stuff. And he would be definitely somebody you might want to do an interview with. He is so great, and he has the best guests, I swear. And
no,
of course,
I know, Melvin, shout out to you. I feel like Melvin is definitely one of the creators who has stuck with GetVokl throughout everything that's happened, and keeps creating super meaningful content. And so, yeah, we're super happy to have you, Melvin, on the platform. That's for sure. And I've checked out the content. I've popped into rooms on occasion and participated because some of the topics are I felt were relevant to me personally, apart from being part of GetVokl and building GetVokl. I remember one on motherhood during, I think, last year's Mother's Day or something like that, and I popped on because I felt strongly about what was being discussed.
Yeah, he's awesome, as well as most of the people that are in there, who some of them make content, some most support all of us. They're just a wonderful group of people. And of course, Dr. Vibe, who we do a program together as well. So just a wonderful group of people. So I wanted to make sure that I said that, and while we're doing this broadcast. So okay, so the corona, I hate this week we're doing 5 straight episodes, right? Monday through Friday. This is actually an extra one. And we're calling it the No Corona Zone, because we're not supposed to say the C word, right? We want the programming. We're not going to be giving you updates on vaccines or what they're doing on Capitol Hill. We just want it to be, no Corona talk, right? And hey, what's up, Nazim? How you doing?
Hey guys, what's up? All good, all safe, and in lockdown. But I just wanted to ask a question to Alexander, and I posted it in there if I can do that.
Sure, go ahead.
Are you guys concerned about bandwidth issues? Because with the rise of everybody going online in the last couple of weeks, we're seeing a couple of problems here in Italy regarding 30% increase on usage. I want to see what Alexander had to say about that.
Thanks, Nazim. And maybe before I ask the question, where in Italy are you based?
Milan.
Oh gosh, so you're in the epicenter of.
Yeah, hot zone.
Well, best thoughts go out to you guys.
Thanks. We're doing fine.
Yeah. Well, good to hear that from you. I'll leave it at that. So to answer your question, GetVokl in terms of overall bandwidth is an insignificant blip if you compare it to big platforms like YouTube or others, right? So for us, this is not an issue at all. Essentially, the issue is that big services like Netflix or YouTube or TikTok in terms of mobile bandwidth and every streaming platform essentially are being used significantly more now that everyone's stuck at home, right? So more from an overall network perspective, the internet usage is hitting new records every day. And the big players that contribute, that sort of use a lot of this bandwidth, are worried that they might contribute to instabilities in the overall internet, right? So that's why guys like YouTube and TikTok just followed suit with that, have reduced the quality of some of their videos just to make sure that we don't run into overload of the entire system situations. Again, GetVokl, I wish we were a system relevant player. At this point, we're nowhere near that. So for us, this does not have an impact at all, unless the internet as a whole breaks down. Then we, like every other service that relies on the internet, would be affected. Apart from that, not.
Gotcha. Great. Thanks a lot, guys. That's it. I'm out.
Thanks for popping in.
Take care, everybody.
You too, Nazim.
Thank you. If anybody has any other questions, please feel free to hop in. Yeah, that's another thing I've noticed is my internet seems to be getting a little slower, and I have really good internet, so I'm used to that. It just zipping along and being able to do all these things at once and stuff like that. So, yeah, that is
that's why the big players are reacting, right? Because the internet overall, is being tested out in terms of capacity.
Right. So, as I was saying, this whole week, we've been doing programming not to talk about the C word. And have hopefully interesting and fun conversation. And we'll be on tonight, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. Please make sure you guys come through, and we're gonna be chopping it up as well. And all you people out there who make content, I know it's tough right now, and some of you guys are worried about your families and stuff, but I think it's a good time to pop on and do some stuff, because to be honest with you, a lot of times I don't really care to watch television. Obviously there's some shows that I love that I'll definitely watch, but I find myself on YouTube and platforms like this more so than TV. I really like the interactive aspects of it and stuff like that. So I'm looking for content, like yesterday I watched Tiger King on Netflix. If y'all haven't seen that, that's a great show. But I'd probably rather be on YouTube or on GetVokl or somebody's stream or something like that. That, to me, that's the kind of content that I particularly like the most. So I know that during this time, we're gonna, it's gonna test a lot of us, and hopefully that we all pull it through. Yeah, it is a hot mess. We'll pull through just fine. What's up, Anthony?
Hey, what's up? Hey, see my puppy? He's there. Yeah. So, anyway, I just want to hop on and say, hey, Alexander, glad to see you're doing well.
Hey, Anthony.
And I'm glad to see you're doing well, and hope you get back to America very soon, and life gets back to normal very soon. There are 3 communities, and I know I've talked to you about this before, and I will gladly help you any way I can with this. You or Gazella or whoever, I will gladly help you with this. 3 communities that you really need to focus on are web series creators, independent movie creators, and also just go on like GoFundMe or crowdfunding source, and just start reaching out to people who make their own projects and products. And
so Tony, thank you for that advice. And you've given it to us many times before, and we have tried it. Right? We have reached out to web series creators. We have reached out to independent movie creators. We did not get the response of creators that would then come on to GetVokl. So at this point, we are reaching out to creators that we are getting a response from. And I feel like in a step 2, when GetVokl is relevant enough for any creator to feel like, hey, there's something going on, we should be creating on here too. That's when generally speaking about it, will attract new creators. For now, I really appreciate you sort of reiterating this, but we've tried it and it's sort of not worked.
Okay. Well, I just thought I'd bring it up again. I'll help out. I know a lot of the people I know, they'd be great for this platform, but a lot of them just like, well, why? There's Facebook Live, there's YouTube, there's Instagram. Why? And I just, I really have to just drive it in their head. Look, try the platform and you'll like it.
That you make here, describing it to folks always falls short. Every time creators do their first show on GetVokl, we hear stuff like, when you described it, it sounded interesting. But then when I finally had that moment where I was interacting with my audience, I got it, right? That's when sort of the light bulb moment happens for them. And it is something that you can describe it as much as you want. You can have the smartest, videos and marketing materials. It just, people don't get it because it's different. It's so new, right? I mean, a lot of the folks here understand what GetVokl is. They've been on Blab before. They understand the aspects or what it means to have interactive live streams where you like build community around cool topics and conversations on all of that. Now, most creators, to them, this is complete. They haven't even thought about it, right? It's not like it's a problem that we're solving for them. They don't even see this as a problem. So getting a lot of creators on the platform is always difficult because there is a big mental leap of, interactive podcasting, like why should I even do that? So that's why the strategy that we started in January, and I mentioned this earlier, which is the connection zone, which happens tonight, and we're going to add additional content blocks on other nights that have different topics. That's why that works, because creators need to see it, the audience needs to experience the magic to be like, oh, I get it, right? Just coming onto the dashboard and seeing a bunch of tiles of shows that are upcoming and not having the context of the actual experience doesn't work. It's as simple as it just doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, I just thought I'd bring it up again. And I appreciate the platform quite a lot, and it's really helped out quite a lot. Some people I might as well shout out with is on Monday nights, Marie, help me out, Kinte, Angela Marie, and Logan, who does their show. They are wonderful on this platform. Their show is called Fairly Random spiritual talk, whatever. Yeah, it's a wonderful show. People ought to check that out. And I'm glad to see there's some more usage on the show. And you want to say hey? Okay, say hey. Okay. And I'm going to get off because I need to control him. So,
have a good one, Tony. Be safe.
You know, one thing I've learned about people is that they have a hard time understanding something in the abstract. They have to, like you said, they have to feel it, ingest it, for them to see it. And like, I'll be honest with you, the way that I've found out about the previous platform, the B Word, was a friend of mine brought me onto it. And I never, I was a guest and I got it right away. As a guest, I got it right away and I invested into it. So,
but you got it, but then also there was more stuff going on. So it's like, this seems like a place that's hot. I'm going to stay here. And so, yeah, that's what we're trying to create. Nazim said it's an interesting pivot. I feel like it's not a pivot. I mean, GetVokl, we always started GetVokl and didn't even know about Blab. And the goal was to have just a deeper connection when talking about certain topics, right? And so I feel like that's why we called it GetVokl. It's like, speak up, be part of something that's more interactive than crappy Twitter messages or Facebook chat or whatever, right?
Right.
And it's not changed. It's just that it's taken us a freaking long time to figure out how to make this work, given the resources that we have. And given that people's attention span is super short, right? If you don't deliver something cool within 15 seconds, folks are going to ditch you and never come back. And so that's just something that we've been battling with. It's a chicken and an egg problem, because essentially GetVokl is a marketplace between creators and the audience. And so we've never been able to figure out, up until now, a strategy where with the resources that we have, we can actually grow this. Right. And so now we have it. The current situation is, I feel like people are going to be more willing to make the leap into virtual experiences now that everyone's stuck at home. So, I mean, just last week, I can say it, the number of GetVokl grew more than 100% last week. And it's not been growing much before, right? So before January, when we started this whole content initiative. So I think things could be changing here. And yeah, it's great that everyone keeps supporting us as much as they do. And we truly appreciate it.
Yeah, I really love it. And so what is this, March of 2020? So a lot of things are going to happen in the next couple of months due to the C word, as well as, hopefully that this tragedy or pandemic or whatever you want to call it, there'll be good things that have come out of it, like people creating art, people making babies, a lot of December babies, I'm sure.
Coronials, hashtag coronials.
So, even out of terrible things, good things come about. So hopefully with this, great things will happen for this platform. And it really should, because I think most people, when they ingest it, they do enjoy it quite a bit. And it becomes an essential part of what they do. So I think it's pretty cool. So is there any more questions before we let Alex go? Now is the time. Oh, excuse me.
Thing that I'd like to plug, if you don't mind.
Sure.
We've been asked in the past many times, how does GetVokl ever plan to make money? How will GetVokl achieve sustainability? Right? Mm-hmm. And that also plays to the last question that Nazim asked, what about updates on the platform? So right now, we are really trying to promote what we call Vcoin. Vcoin is that little blue diamond on the top right of your navigation bar if you're on a web browser. Mm-hmm. And Vcoin is essentially an in-platform currency. Users can purchase Vcoin, and then they can spend it on creators' events, and then creators can redeem that for cash. And GetVokl takes a cut of the money that users pay for these Vcoins. And that is how we are going to make money. Or how we are making money. People are already starting to use it at a small scale, given that it's a very new feature. So essentially, if anyone, here is thinking about how to support us, creators like you, Dr. Vibe, hi there, and you, Kinte, and you, Dre, and you, Melvin, and anyone else I might be missing who's in this room right now, encourage your folks to donate Vcoin to you, sign up for the program, and for everyone else, buy Vcoin and tip your creator. That's what is gonna, keep your creators afloat, and that is what is going to keep GetVokl afloat. So I want to stress that this is a very important feature for us, and that is our path to sustainability. So far, it's Gisela and myself investing our savings to keep the party going, and so this is a way to have everyone contribute and creators win.
Real quick, before you get to your question, Dr. Vibe, Olaf wants to know, is Vcoin available on mobile phone as well?
Yes, you can spend Vcoin on mobile. So if a creator has Vcoin enabled, now Kinte does not hear. Gisela, can you maybe enable Kinte's channel for Vcoin so that folks see what it looks like? But I think folks have seen. You'll see a little V in the chat, right? And then you can click that, and then you can decide how many Vcoins you want to donate, and all of that works on mobile as well. So you cannot purchase Vcoin on mobile, but you can spend it. And the reason why you can't purchase it on mobile is because we'd have to share 30% of the proceeds with Apple or Google, and that's just not happening.
Right.
You got to buy them on web, and then you can spend them on any app or web.
All right, I like it. I'm gonna give me some Vcoin tonight. Dr. Vibe, how you doing, brother?
What's going on?
Oh man, chilling.
Okay. Alex, how are you, man?
I'm stuck in Europe, but apart from that, I'm good. Good to see you, Dr. Vibe.
Right back at you, and best wishes to the team, and hope the team is keeping safe. Question in regards to the Vcoin. Is it only available US-wise? Because I looked at the features. There's something American-based, because I'm based in Toronto.
I am so sorry to have bad news for you. For now, only creators based in the US with a US bank account can be part of the Vcoin program. We are working on a solution to roll it out globally so that creators based anywhere can use this. That said, if you're a user, it doesn't matter where you are, you can purchase Vcoin and spend it on your creators that are based in the US. But that's a caveat of the problem of the program right now. And unfortunately, being based in Toronto as you are, Dr. Vibe, this is not available for you right now. And we're working on changing it.
Everything in due time. No worries. I can work with that.
All right. Dre says his podcast is coming back next Thursday. That's what's up.
Very
All
nice.
right. And I'm gonna slide people some Vcoins.
Yeah.
Alex, maybe I missed anything. With getting the Vcoin done, what's the team's next work project?
We've decided to hold off on new features. The big new feature that we were going to work on is the guest queue, so that you can essentially see who wants to cam up into your show and then approve that. But we're holding off with that. And instead, what we're doing right now is we're just making the platform ready for more growth, for more scalability, and we're just ironing out all of the little problems that we still have. One of them being the screen sharing, right? And then what we're going to do, so for a lot of you, not much is going to change. Things are going to look the same. They're just going to be more stable. People are going to have less bugs, and all of that. And again, as I mentioned earlier, we're really making a push to get podcasters and their communities onto the platform. And podcasters usually are not tech savvy at all. And so the platform needs to be simple to the bordering dumb, so that it just anyone can use it very quickly. And so that's what we're focusing on. That's a lot of like little improvements of how the flows work and everything. And so that's what we're really focusing on. That's the big work project for the next couple of months.
Makes sense. Well, look, I'm going to jump off. Enjoy Europe while you can. And we'll look forward to having you back in the North Americas, my man.
Yes, looking forward to that as well. Thank you so much for jumping on. Also, one more thing that I want to say, given that there have been a couple of new folks come on board, the other big work project that we have is launching other programming blocks like the connection zone. So the connection zone is our first. We have more programming coming out hopefully soon. Working on it with full steam. Kinte, you're muted.
About that. Real quick, anybody, we have minutes left with that. Alex, any questions? Get them in. Now's the time. But I'm very excited about all of this. This is going to be really cool. Okay, Dr. Vibe, what's up?
Now, it's funny because when I log into the room, my audio goes down. So I don't know what that is all about. But Alex, can you still hear me? Okay, just another quick thing. Since GetVokl has been around for a while now, are you beginning to get less pushback and resistance in regards to getting content creators on? Was it more that they want to see if the platform would last, or is it more because they don't find it the usability user friendly? That's what I was looking for. Do you think it's more they wanted to see if the platform would last, or do they feel about the usability of the platform?
All of the above, right? So we've had a bunch of creators that came onto the platform and felt that it wasn't stable enough. And, when we initially launched simulcasting, it was much more difficult to use. And they were like, this is too difficult, I'm out, right? But much more, and we've gotten better and better, and we are doubling down on improving the the stability and the reliability and the intuitiveness and the user experience and all those kind of things, as I just mentioned. But much more so, we just essentially GetVokl, and this is starting to change now with the strategy and of course with the implications of the C word. We now have things are starting to happen on the platform, right? It's becoming relevant, and that's when folks get excited about it. Before that, we were just plainly, and it pains to say that, irrelevant. And a lot of users, especially also the early community that came onto GetVokl, was just frustrated by that, by things not happening quickly enough and all of that. And now I see Kinte is trying to come on, but it's not working. I suggest you reload Kinte, right? So those kind of things we need to improve. Now, people that know the platform will know, okay, I got to reload. My browser just had a little glitch. Users that don't know the platform will just be like, this sucks. The platform's broken, right? And so one of the things that we're going to introduce is that when these kind of little glitches happen, we communicate. We say, hey, there's a little error in your browser right now that you can fix by just refreshing. And then people will refresh and they're like, that's easy, right? Versus thinking the whole platform's broken and doesn't work. So those are the kind of things that we're doing. And then again, the bigger reason was, as Tony said earlier, why should I even be on the platform? And being on the platform for creators is, there's something happening. For audience, the same thing. And I think we have a strategy, and I'm repeating myself multiple times, but we have a strategy now to address that.
Excellent.
Hey guys, can I ask a quick question before we close up? Okay, great. I'm a little bit curious. You're in Germany now. I'm in Italy. And I've always seen most of the shows since the beginning of GetVokl. They're very US concentric in the sense that they're coming from that part of the world. What is going on in the rest of the world with GetVokl, in Europe or in Asia? Or is there a lot of people coming into the platform? Or
so funny that you asked the question. There are a bunch of Russian creators coming onto the platform since a couple of days. No idea where they came from. And so
I saw them last night. Yeah,
that's one thing. Our goal is to just make this work for the English-speaking market first, right? That's hard enough.
Okay, gotcha.
And then later on, we will start supporting other languages, and you might be able to switch between different languages and stuff like that. But we just want to make this work in the North Americas and for everyone who wants to participate from wherever in the world.
Gotcha. Okay, great. That answered it.
all right.
Bye, everybody.
All right. Anybody else? I see John Pappas just came in, as well as, of course, Gisella's here. And it says, I think your next broadcast Vcoin should be working. Okay. Hey, Drea. How you doing, Drea? It's been a minute. All right. So we'll so I have to make it enabled within the when I schedule the broadcast.
What you'll have to do is so there's two steps. Let me just explain the process real quick, maybe as a last bit. First step is on your channel page, but also only on web. This does not work on mobile apps. Okay. As a creator, on your channel page, there's a blue bar, and it will ask you to, it says, hey, we have Vcoin. Check if you qualify. Then if you click learn more, there's a little pop-up that says, see if I qualify. Then if you did that, we get a notification and see creator so-and-so wants to sign up for the Vcoin feature. And then we check if this is a creator that we think is eligible, and pretty much everyone is eligible unless your content is not eligible, right? We work with a payment provider. Let's say your content not really happened yet. Anyway, but we check it, and then we say, okay, enabled for Vcoin. And then the next step is that you, again, on your channel page, you see, okay, you've been approved by GetVokl. Now you need to connect your bank account. And then there's a quick little sign-up process that you need to do where you provide some information, including your bank account. And when that's all done, then you are actually enabled. And then in all of your broadcasts, you will have that little V next to the chat. So when you're done with the show, Kinte, before you do the next one, go to your channel page and complete that setup by providing some information, including your bank account. And then you should be good to go for your next broadcast.
Okay, I'll do.
So it's a two-step process, right? It's first, GetVokl, I want to sign up for the monetization program. And then we say, okay, thumbs up. And then second step is connect your bank account, do all that stuff, and then you're good to go.
All right. Now, one last thing, and this will be the last question I'm going to ask you, is every once in a while, I'll be seeing somebody on GetVokl, and they'll have GetVokl merchandise. Like they'll have T-shirts. I think I've seen a hat once before. Where are they getting this from? Are you guys selling that?
For a while, but people weren't really buying it. You don't have a GetVokl T-shirt, Kinte?
I don't. No.
Oh God. Okay, we'll send you one.
Okay.
We'll send you one.
I
mean, we've been asked if that could be purchased and bought, and then we created a Teespring account, where you can sort of crowd buy them, and then Teespring uses our designs and creates and ships the T-shirts. Wasn't really used, so people asked for it, wasn't really used, so we stopped it again.
Okay. All right.
But Kinte, I feel like it's overdue that we send you one. So maybe you can, Alex at GetVokl, me your email address, your physical address, and we'll send you a T-shirt.
All right. I feel like now I'm officially part of the GetVokl Illuminati, so I'm pretty happy about that. Let's see. We have Melvin. He wants to come in, and then we will say good night or good afternoon. Wait, what is it there?
It's good night in Europe, good afternoon in the US.
All right.
Listen, how you guys do? I have one simple question. Very, very simply, always being a very slim guy, when you guys talk about the T-shirts, don't forget the 4X's. That's all I want to share. You guys have a good night.
Melvin, send me your physical mailing address as well, and we'll see if we have 4X's in the house, and if not, then next time we order, we'll get some 4X's.
Hey man, we're not everybody is very thin like yourselves. So some of us football players over here.
Exactly.
All right. Well, how can we get you in social media and anything that we need to be on the lookout besides the Vcoin and stuff? Anything else?
I think Vcoin, that's what matters. Again, we appreciate that a lot of you have stuck with GetVokl as long as you have. We know that this has, GetVokl hasn't exploded from the first day, but the makers of GetVokl, which is a small team, including Gisela and Lukesh and Liz and myself, we're committed to make this work, and we have the persistence to do it. So, keep supporting us, keep showing up, and that's it. Thank you.
All right. I appreciate it, your time. And I know you're going to be in 2 days, you're going to be on Dr. Tachi show, right?
That's news.
Oh, I could have sworn I could have sworn I saw something, or maybe it was an old advert. So my bad.
I'm not aware of that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my bad. But check out Dr. Tachi anyway. Yeah, she's awesome. All right. You can get me at Kinte F on Twitter, Kinte Ferguson, Fergerson on Instagram. And of course, the website is indyradio.org. That's indyradio.org. Tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, we'll be on with our day 3 of the No Corona Zone show that we have just for this. It's going to be really cool. And then on Thursday, we have a special show that we're going to do where we have a filmmaker, Damian D. Smith, who was on the program last night. He's going to be showing a short film of his, and then we're going to be talking about it afterwards. So that's going to be cool as well. So a lot of things are happening. I want to thank once again Alex, Gisela, the whole team. Stay safe, and God